Today's video is not going to be a banner analysis, but instead I am going to be talking about just mindsets for the upcoming Summer Maruzensky banner. It's something that I've been noticing very recently with my Discord community, especially with these two banners right here. They have been tempting and very tough for a lot of people in my community to stay away from pulling. And so more so, I know a lot of the videos I also make for myself, but it's kind of like a reminder for myself, like, hey, I have a plan, I know what it is that I want, and let me try my best to stick to said plan. And so today, very funny, I guess, I feel like I'm always trying to make sure that people, have that good mental. We don't burn out, we stay positive, we do this, that, and the third, and a lot of it really comes from just wanting to, in turn, help myself, because I need these videos too. And so today's video is we're just gonna yap for a little bit about making sure we don't get baited by this banner right here. So first off, let me just say, if you want to pull for these characters, if you like Summer Maruzensky or Summer Special Week, or if you're a front runner and you want those characters, by all means, do you good. I'm not trying to stop you. But this is more so for the light spenders, the free-to-plays who, when every new banner comes along and people are getting, hey, look at this one single pull and I got the character, or look at this 10 pull and I get the character, and we see all these people pulling, and it's very hard to kind of resist not doing the same thing, not going in and just being like, they're lucky, surely I could be lucky too, right? And it gets to a point to where it is difficult, and it does wear out mentally. You're sitting there and you're trying your best to save, and you want to be good because, hey, I have a plan, I want this waifu, I want this Oshi, and it's very hard to make sure that you don't cave. And so I was scrolling through Facebook one day and I was like, man, saw this thing, and it was like, it's not the fear of missing out, it's the fear of not having something that everybody else has. And so as I was preparing, just kind of looking for some stuff about this video, I looked up what is FOMO. A quick Google search says it's the fear of not being included in an enjoyable or interesting activity that others are experiencing. What is that activity? Pulling. Quite easily. I want to do gacha too. I like to gamble. I love gacha games. That's the whole reason why we're here. Well, not the whole reason, but it's a big reason. And so I was looking at that and I was like, man, that's really good. But then, that second half was, it's not having something that everybody else has. And so the first thing that came to my mind was, wait, so is this basically the modern day, the saying, is this the modern day keeping up with the Joneses? I need to pull for Sane Sky, I need to pull for Summer Maruzensky, I need to get Rico Rice, I need to get Nice Nature, I need to get Christmas Ogity, I need to get this, and then where my wife was at, where my Oshi's at, man, where my 97s, bro, where my 95s, you know what I'm saying? And so that was something that really stuck out to me. I was like, wow, okay, that's one of, I always heard, hey man, we not trying to keep up with the Joneses. And one of the big Joneses right here is this one. She is touted as the end all be all. You have to get her. But then the thing is even if you get her, it doesn't mean that it's an auto win. It doesn't mean she comes pre-packaged, 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200. We still gonna have to put the runs in. Do we got the parents? Do we got the cards? Do we have everything to put her in a position to succeed? And if you do have that, hey, congratulations. I'm not hating on that by any means. One of the things that, I just want to make sure is that, hey, we make that informed decision, right? I always want to make sure that whoever watches my videos, we're staying mentally good, we're positive, and we not burning out, right? Because there's just way too many good things down the road that's just going to be cooking for us. And I don't want to miss out on that, and I don't want y'all to miss out on that either. And so this one right here, is a little tough. But aside of that as well, something that, as I was kind of looking up some stuff, I was like, it feels like saving and waiting to do your pulls for maybe a character in the future. For me, this is way out into the future, but I gotta get hurt. That's on me. The thing that I thought of was I'm standing in line at the movie theater, and let's just say that I want to go to this movie over here. Let's just say it's a SAO movie. Okay, cool. Let me go see it. And so maybe that's the left-hand turn. And so as I'm going and as I'm standing in line, I see people all going to the right, going to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. And then the next thing I know is finally my time. And they say, hey, you can either go to the right and go watch this other movie that you may not care about, that you have no idea anything about, you don't really care about it, you don't want to go see it, but I've seen so many people going to the right and going to this movie. And, you know, they kind of play a little trick with you, and it's like, hey, go spend your carrots, my brother. Go spend your carrots, my sister. And it's like, no, you know, I wanted to go see this other movie, you know, I'm cool to wait. And so when I thought of it like that, like waiting in line to go see the movie I want to see, it kind of clicked for me, and I was like, wait, that's so good. The other thing that I really thought about was when I read that little quote from off of Facebook, I was like, yo, I've had people come into my stream or into my Discord, whatever, and they'll be like, hey, did you pull for XYZ? Same Sky was one of the recent ones. Or they'll say, hey, are you going to be pulling from Summer Maruzensky? And I'd be like, nah, I didn't pull for Sayun, and I'm not going to pull for Summer Maruzensky. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why? Why are we not pulling for that? And very simply, I don't want to. I don't like the character. I don't like the style that they play. Maybe I don't want to farm for groundwork, and I don't want to farm for all these greens to make sure it works. Whatever the case is for whoever it is, it really just was like, there is no fight back on it. And that's the thing that I think, you know, maybe some people might be worried about is, you know, maybe your friends or maybe your communities that you're very involved in, you may feel that invisible external pressure that you see everybody around you pulling for XYZ, and then now, but nobody's actually genuinely pressuring you. And then it's just like, oh man, they all got it, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. But then if you think back and you step back, and if anybody just asks you, let me be the one to ask you, do you actually want Summer Maruzensky? Did you actually want Sayun Sky? Now, if the answer is yes, hey, and you got your reasons, cool. But if you're kind of like, you know, in that in between, answer me down below in the comments. We can talk about it. Do you actually want Summer Maruzensky, or are you putting pressure on yourself to have the same thing that other people have? Are you trying to keep up with the Joneses when it comes to a gacha game? And so, you know, I know it's just so funny to me, like, people in my communities, some of my close homies, they be teasing me about it. They're always like, man, y'all, you just trying to be positive. You just trying to da-da-dee-da-da-da. And it's like, yeah, man, I would rather be positive instead of trying to, like, make people be scared about XYZ and, like, put a negative connotation onto people and make people think they're going to brick their account. And so, you know, I try my best to stay away from that. But, you know, maybe this video resonates with you. Maybe it doesn't. But, you know, this is one of those videos, a lot of the times, like I said, I make it for myself as well. It really helps me stay grounded. Helps me stick to my plan. You know, somebody that I've been joking around with in my community recently, they like Fine Motion. You know, and that's tough. That's quite a ways away. And, you know, it's one thing, you know, I have a little joke. It's like, okay, every time you pull, you know, you're going to have to give me carrots too. Because otherwise, if you keep your carrots, you don't got to give me no carrots. And then you get to save it for Fine Motion. You know, obviously it's a joke. But, you know, it's just those small little interactions that really help me stay grounded and help me remember, hey, I have a pull plan. I know what I want to get. I know what style I like to play. And so I know with Summer Maruzensky coming up soon, I feel like a lot of people, maybe your friends, maybe communities, a lot of people are really going to start amping up on these levels. Summer Maruzensky, and it's gonna, them stonks are gonna all the way to the moon, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to make this as like a precursor, if not for anyone else, for myself. It's okay to not pull. Personally, I don't want Summer Maruzensky. I'm not gonna sit here and farm groundwork sparks all day long. I'm not gonna sit here and get all the greens. I'm not gonna do those things, and so I'm not worried about getting her. It's a little yap video, man. Y'all know I like to yap by this point. You've been around here, especially if you've been on the stream, man. You know I like to yap. You know I like to talk about the game and all the different facets of it. If you watched the video and you made it to this point, I appreciate you watching the video. If you like videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And genuinely, will you be pulling for Summer Maruzensky? Do you even want Summer Maruzensky? Do you regret doing pulls for characters that you didn't even want? You know, got a homie in the Discord, in the community. I think he threw 110 at either Fuji or Gold City. Didn't even really want either one of them. 110 down the drain, and we was 9 multis away from being able to pity somebody. Didn't get anything out of it, you know. And those are the situations that I always want to try to avoid. That I always am like, yo, just save till 30k, save till 20 multis, you know, save. And you know, I'm sure it gets annoying to hear. But what's gonna be even more annoying is when we do get to your waifu, to your oshi, to your favorite character, and then you turn around. Where my funds at? Where my carrots at? You know, and then we gonna have to dig out the wallet, you know, throw a little some, you know, come on. Don't nobody want to do that. Unless you got it like that, then hey, you got it like that. Do you actually want to pull for the character? Did you actually want to pull for potentially somebody in the past? Did you get baited? You know, let me know down below. And, you know, we could just use this as like a little reprieve, a little oasis in the desert that's about to come up of pull for Summer Maru, so pull for Summer Maru, pull for Summer Maru. When genuinely, I'm not going to. You don't have to. And we all gonna be chilling. I do want to give a shout out to the channel members. Thank y'all so much for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate that a lot. It means the world to me. Also, while you're down there doing the comments, doing the likes and all that good stuff, subscribing. If you're on mobile, please be sure to hit that hype button. It really helps out a lot. Last but not least, it is a Yap video. We're gonna have some more of these in the future. But be sure to share this with your friends, with your family, and with your friends' family, so that way we can have a little bit of cushion and we don't have to worry too much about what's about to come up ahead of the waves and masses of people saying, you gotta pull, you gotta pull. So let's get that cushion ready, let's get that defenses ready, let's get our savings ready, and let's try to hold out through the Summer Maruzensky. I will catch y'all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.